Foot like a bee, Danny Min here, and welcome back to the next installment of Transport Fever 2's Industry Showcase for our Around the World in Time playthrough. It's part 2 of Yeo's Senseless Industries. It's time to do the advanced goods that appear later, after 1850. Now bear in mind that some of these get sort of like drip fed in. The incinerator here arrives at I think it's sometime around 1900, but it disappears as you get to the late 2020s or the 2000s as the recycling centres then come into play. We're not going to look at all of this because I've got it all set up. This is all the old 1850s industries and they're working away there just fine. Bear in mind as well that fuel, chemical plants, oil refining doesn't appear till sort of later on down the line either. So this is all the standard 1850s stuff that you get, and we know that this works. Now, I've set up some stuff. We'll have a look at it. So, first of all, food. The only thing it's really food has changed is the cannery. So the cannery is here. But we'll start down here because we've got a farm that is creating fodder. This is pretty cool because it actually arrives in pallets and hay bales and stuff, and the dumper trucks can pick it up. So that's really cool. Now I'm interested. Something I never actually noticed is because hay bales and stuff are normally transported on like flatbed sort of bogies that are pulled by a tractor. Yeah, this one can take it as well. So I'm quite interested to see if that's what it looks like when it's on the side of the truck. So what I'm going to do is we're going to buy one. What line is this? You should probably check that first, because there's now 110 odd lines to get all these industries completed. So it's pretty severe. And now this one goes on 37. Whoa. Or 47. 37? Let's go 37. Pretty sure it's 37. Let's speed it up, because I want to see if it actually has the hay bales on it. This just gets hay put in it, which is pretty cool that has been animated. So that's interesting. So yeah, this brings up fodder. Again, this will accept crops. The only reason crops are not being produced here, because that's one of the things it produces, is that I've set these to only pick up fodder. Just so I could sort of showcase what it actually looks like. Now crops is maybe the better option because you get 3 for every sort of turn or second or whatever. I want you to stop, because I want to see you actually picking something up and see what it looks like. Alright, 3, 2, 1 and go. Ah, cool! It has actually got the hay bales on. That's pretty smart. I quite like that. It's pretty neat, actually. So yeah, crops is maybe the better way to go because you only get one. But again, it's making fish. Fish is coming over here to the cannery. Now be wary, because this is not steel. This is aluminium. This is what I screwed up on. And for ages I wasn't getting any food. I cannot understand what the hell was going on, because I had a steel mill up here. Now the steel mill looks the same as the aluminium smelter as well. So just keep an eye out for that. Unlike steel though, it only needs bauxite. So we've got one of our bauxite mines over here. The bauxite arrives. Kind of just looks like iron ore. It gets dumped into the truck. The aluminium beams just look like steel beams, so that's fine. And then it comes down here to the cannery, and then this will make canned food, or canned fish food really, and it's just on these sort of food pallets here, and then off we go. Everything else is still the same. The livestock farm is slightly different because now you need fodder in order to make your livestock, your milk, your wool from the sheep. So we've got fodder being picked up here again and coming out here. This one is doing milk, it looks like, yeah, because there's tankers. It's pretty cool that the tankers pick up milk. It's a bit weird that they go in these sort of goods boxes. I suppose it is what it is. And again, you still need all four. You still need all four to produce food. So just bear that in mind. So yeah, the farms have changed. So instead of having the rural farm that did crops, livestock, milk and wool, you've now got crop farms that produce crops and fodder, and you've got actual livestock farms where you've got your cows for meat processing, your cows for dairy, and your sheep for wool. So again, this one is taking the cows, it's taking the livestock. So again, I've got another fodder route over here, and it's chopping stuff off there. There we go, there's some livestock being picked up. Again, this is still the same. So yeah, this still, you drop off the cows, they get slaughtered, it gives you meat, it gives you leather. So they are working just fine. We are getting some food, but food is being shipped over here. Again, this is an old school commercial centre, so one of the ones you get from 1850. Now I've got this built up because I needed somewhere for these goods to go. I also had to showcase some of the stuff in the textiles, some of the fibres that you get. So yeah, they are all, textiles and food are coming down to here. We're producing goods and we're actually sending it to a hotel. And the hotel is doing just grand. It is taking the commercial goods and it is producing waste. And this looks like a waste truck right here. It is. But we'll get to the waste in just a second. So when I first placed this hotel, it was at level 1, so it's obviously leveled up to level 2. And it's fully built now, so that's pretty cool. This is perhaps a more easier way, if you're going to have hotels in game, just to do this commercial good, because the other standalone ones take, I think it's machines, tools, food. It takes like 4 different goods, and you have to have all 4 good types being delivered at a steady pace in order for it to level up from level 1 to level 2. You can also just go in and configure it and change it to level 2. However, I have noticed that if you don't supply the stuff, it doesn't stay at level 2. It will drop back down to level 1 after a certain time. So, textiles. Right, there's something new in textiles, and it's these synthetic fibres. Now, again, we have rural farm here. This is for wool. So again, you need your fodder in order to create the end good. This guy's picked up wool and he's on his merry way to the textiles. We've got leather coming in for the textiles. Good thing about textiles is you don't need all 4 of them to create a textile. You only need to supply 1. So that's really good. Unlike the food is quite difficult because you need all 4. Without all 4 you can't produce any food. So just bear that in mind. We've got fibre as well. We've got the flax farm. The flax farm actually disappears after a certain time. And the only way to bring flax in is with your, this thing, the import building. The import building creates fibre. And that's the only way to bring it in. I pushed the date back to 1850 in order to build this. So if you still got these, even though we're in 2020, it will still accept fibre from a flax farm. It's just after a certain point, you won't be able to build them. So there's 3 of our good types going in. So there's some fibre, there's some wool, there's plenty of leather. Now we've got this. This is the synthetic fibres. So synthetic fibres, you take oil from an oil well, send it to an oil refinery, and you make refined oil. The refined oil goes down here and it's turned into nylon. So that's pretty cool, or synthetic fibre. It's a nylon factory apparently. It's pretty cool though. It sort of just looks like an oil refinery. But yeah, it's smart. I like the synthetic fibres. It's definitely a new age product. So again, your synthetic fibres go down and you can deliver them here. Synthetic fibre is not something you can build from 1850. There's no way, because even though you have the oil well, you don't have the oil refineries and you don't have the nylon factory. So you can't build it from 1850. You can only build it once the industries you need to create it are unlocked. So again, textiles going down to there, going to the hotel. Now, trash. So trash up here, we've got an incinerator, right? There's the incinerator there. Now, I believe it appears sometime in the 1900s, and then it disappears again, and it gets phased out by the recycling plant. Now, as I mentioned in the foremost video, part 1, that it creates waste. So basically, the incinerator burns waste, but it can't burn away everything. There are things that are unburnable or take extreme heat to sort of literally incinerate. So yeah, that waste, I suppose ash as well, any sort of byproduct of burning waste comes into what's called waste rests. So that is that here. So waste rests. Then that has to go to landfill. But as you can see, these guys here, right, are picking up the garbage, which is magnificent. It goes over here. Now it will create fuel. I have fuel being made here, and then it's going somewhere else. It will also create the waste rests. You kind of need to get rid of both. If there's no line in between, that means it produces both, and that if one, suddenly the stockpile for one becomes full, it's very difficult to sort of create anything else. So the waste rests are over here, actually. Who just picked that up? Who picked that up? You did. Right. So this is going over, and I've got a landfill site over here. So this will take trash, and it will also take this, and it just gives you money in return, and it obviously gets buried in landfill, out of sight, out of mind. So always remember that if you want incinerators and other things, recycling plants, I think also produce waste rests, then you're going to need a landfill in order to get rid of it. So just to bear that in mind. So yeah, the fuel is heading off. Then fuel is heading off to the industrial sector, which is over here, which we'll hit up in just a minute. I do believe it's just heading down to this. So our end goods facility for industrial goods requires machines, fuel, and advanced construction materials. Now we are building this here, and we're sending some of the industry goods over at this building. Now we are sending it to the town as well, but this is just an example of a little building that you can place, and it will accept your industrial goods for money. That's all it does. It doesn't level up or anything. It stays the same. Obviously the production value does increase, but that just means that it will accept more and more and more. It will have more demand. So that is how that works. Now, in order to get fuel is just standard, same as Transport Fever, Transport Fever 2 standard vanilla. So you take oil wells, you deliver it up here, it creates refined oil, and you send the refined oil here, it makes fuel. Fuel goes into here, and again, it's a tricky one. You need all three of these to create these, but it does give you 3, so that's always a boost. If you had to supply all 3 of these and the end output was just 1, it would be very difficult to make money. Now we are struggling for construction materials. I did have a reason for that, but maybe just check it out once we get there. So next on the list is machines. Now machine takes refined oil and it also takes steel. So iron ore, coal into your steel mill to machines factory, and we also need refined oil. So we've got another refined oil. There's a truck right there. Now we're not struggling for machines at the end product sort of base. There's tons of them here, 34. So this works out kind of fine. It's just commats. I think it's because the commats industry is further away, or I think it's maybe because it takes more things, which I'll show you in just a second. So yeah, machines, I think it's pretty cool that it's got the oil and steel rather than plastic and steel, or plastic and wood, or whatever it was. I know one of the mod packs uses silver and wood, or silver and steel. So yeah, that's kind of cool. I like this combination for making machines. Now this is steel, don't get confused with aluminium. If you are using this and you see that logo there, that's normally steel and vanilla Transport Fever, always check it out, because it might in fact be aluminium. The steel is slightly darker. There's the aluminium there for the construction materials plant. It's a bit lighter. This is obviously a bit darker. So just, you know, take take heed of what it is you are building. Right, so glass. Now glass is really cool. It's an interesting industry. Well, not production wise. It just takes sand from a sand pit. The sand just looks like, what does the sand look like? Oh, it looks like quarried stone. Okay, whatever, that's cool. And then it goes up here and it makes glass. Now I thought, for some reason, I had it in my mind, because these stake trucks take glass. I was like, oh, this is gonna be cool. It's gonna have like glass panels all lined, but no, they're in goods boxes. I don't know why I thought that would be a thing, but I was slightly disappointed when I noticed it was in boxes. Kind of like the way the milk gets transported in boxes, but then gets picked up by a tanker. So off it goes. It's heading down here. Again, you need all three of these to make advanced construction materials. So if you're down in one thing, we are down on advanced corn mats, then it's going to be bad. It is going to be bad for you. So again, bear that in mind. Try and keep a steady flow of everything. Now the only reason that there's more steel or more aluminium and more glass is because I made them up first. And then I actually took a break and then I did this. The concrete. So the concrete is taking longer to get in. Now, aluminium we've seen, so bauxite, and it only accepts bauxite. You don't need coal as well. I thought you might have needed coal. Maybe coal for the furnaces and then throw the bauxite in and melt it down to aluminium, but nope, just bauxite. So the bauxite gets taken, the aluminium gets taken over here as well. As you can see, we're good for glass and aluminium. It's just the concrete. So concrete is made with limestone. It is not made with quarried stone or marble. Be wary that the marble symbol also is the same as the limestone. So always check what you're placing. See this up here? This is a marble quarry, but it's got the same thing. Now marble is used for a specific building and a specific building only, and I'll show you that in just a minute. But there we go. The limestone is being picked up again. I think it just looks like quarried stone. It does. Down it goes. It goes to the concrete factory. So there you go. Limestone equals 1 concrete brick. The concrete bricks are being picked up here. Now these are cool because they are actually the sort of greyish concrete colour. They're not like they haven't used the same construction materials, sort of clay bricks, the brown brick or red brick. So that's kind of cool. So off they go, and then that makes your advanced construction materials here. So some of them are going over here to there. So there you have it. So they are working just fine. Obviously we're down on advanced or modern construction materials, but they are getting some. So we've got that truck that's going to the DIY centre. It just drops stuff off there. It gives you money. We've got the other line here, which is line 77, which is going into the town. So again, we've got the town here. I've got some stops. I've got a trash route going round that'll show you guys, and I've got another mail route going round that'll show you guys. But yeah, they're getting delivered here. They're getting 144 of 255, probably because this city is a lot larger than when I first started the game. So the city is expanding out, and it's expanding out to areas where my drop off doesn't where my drop-off doesn't reach. We've also got mass amount of traffic here as well. But that's it for the industrial goods. Now we'll head over here. So this is the marble quarries. Now the marble quarry is here, and the only thing that accepts marble is this. This is the palace construction building. Now as you can see, it burns through marble quite a lot. It is getting literally tons of modern construction materials, But marble is the thing that we are struggling with. Again, it's one of those industries that produce a low amount, 200. So this is 400. So this would be the equivalent of like one standard vanilla industry. So you need like 4 in order to have the equivalent of 2 standard in-game industries. But should work. You can level it up if you supply enough. I mean, I could just add a few more trucks to that line and it might work. So 1, 2, set you on. I didn't rename anything and there's so many lines now. Line 79. So let's just add them to line 79. We can come back and check it later. I don't think it's going to level up on its own, but we can always help it along. So yeah, the palace here, which is its own little unique building, needs marble and it needs advanced construction materials. As you can see, modern construction materials, not a problem. Marble, slight problem, but it might get better. All we need to do is get this up to the like past 400 mark and it should attempt to level up, maybe. But yeah. So that's all good. Right. We're going to go on to waste. So this is the recycling center here. Temecula recycling center. So it accepts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 garbage. And it produces steel, plastic, waste rests, glass, and paper. We'll start with the paper. So paper I just sent to a sort of post office over here. So it's gone to a printing press. The mail is going along. These trucks are doing sorted and unsorted mail. And they're basically just going around the city. Again, I've set up a garbage route as well. Line 80 is a garbage route that just goes round. These guys pick up waste and they're taking it to the recycling center. So that is getting rid of the paper that is being created here. Now there is another one, yeah, waste rests. So this guy here, no, he's from a different line, but we've got waste rests that we need to get rid of. So that is heading all the way over here and it is unloading at the landfill here. So it's going a long way, but it doesn't create a whole lot of waste rests, so that's good. Steel is heading up. Oh, steel and glass. Right, steel and glass are heading up here to the car factory that I've built way out here and we'll look at right at the very end. That's pretty cool actually, the car factory, and there's some neat mods you can use for it that I'll show you as well. So steel and glass is heading up there. I've also got plastic heading out. Plastic is going over, I think it's to here, to this commercial center. No, it's not. It's going up to here or here, one of these. I can't remember. But yeah, that's how you get rid of all the products it creates. You sort of need to feed it into other industries. Now it's good because it gives you a tiny little surplus of sort of refined goods, especially the plastic and steel, the glass, the paper. So it's good that it gives you that. You can sort of, maybe if an industry is struggling with plastic, if you've got a recycling centre, you can use the plastic that's being made there to sort of surplus the amount of plastic that's being supplied to the industry that needs it. So it's a neat little idea, this. Just remember as well, I don't think this one actually does. I mean, we've got all the consumers here. Yeah, lots of places are taking the stuff, so that's good. Yeah, but it's pretty cool. I do like the fact that there's recycling centres and incineration plants and the landfill. I think it's pretty cool, and if you're doing like a sort of real life playthrough, it's pretty neat. Right, on to the commercial goods. Now the commercial goods takes electronics, electronic devices and appliances. So we'll start with the appliances. So your appliances here, in order to make one microwave, you need steel, you need plastic. Again, we know that steel is made vanilla style, coal and iron, so that's good, and plastic is made vanilla style with oil well, refined oil, and into plastic, and away it goes. So this one's not too difficult. It does require obviously a few industries to get it rolling. So you need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 industries all working in sync to feed into here to get it to work. Now ours is not working in sync because we are not getting a lot of fuel here. And the reason is because this line here is taking oil and stuff somewhere else. So manage line, go into here, Tamulka 11, yeah, you are only going to load plastic, and you're going to unload nothing. Go, fly my pretties, get rid of all that stupid oil and stuff that you're taking, because only this should be getting oil. As you can see, there's 0 stored because it's all gone here. Again, another disadvantage of using the all cargo truck, if you don't pay attention, it will go AWOL and start moving stuff you don't want it to move. Again, this one here should only be taking appliances. So Tamulka sidings, load. I've set you to load nothing, so the line is probably broken. Where are the appliances? There they are. Load that, unload nothing. Just take the appliances. Now the appliances come in the boxes there. This is actually plastic. So it's heading off and more appliances are being fed down to here. The second one, electronic goods, again takes plastic. Plastic we know is standard vanilla style. So plastic going in, and then the second one is copper. For copper smelting at the copper mill, you need copper, which looks like an iron ore mine, but it's got this green symbol instead of the copper or sort of bauxite symbol. So copper just looks like sort of iron ore. It goes along, it comes to here, mixed in with your coal, and it makes copper, which kind of just looks like steel beams, but that's okay, we don't mind that too much. And then off it goes. It meets up with your plastic and it creates electronic goods. Again, this is taking a lot of stuff that it shouldn't, so we will just set this to bus station 22. Yeah, set you to pick up electronics and then unload absolutely nothing. So that'll get rid of all the crap there, and then this here should work better. I mean, it is still working fine. There's 95 there. This stuff is being delivered to the city as well. As you can see, the industrial sector for unloading industrial goods is here at this stop. And the commercial, no, this is the industrial one and this is the commercial one. Because a lot of industrial end goods and a lot of commercial end goods are being delivered at these two stops, they are creating a lot of mail. Which is, well, that's good on its own. If you're someone who likes doing the mail routes and you want the mail to work, it's just fine. Okay, so there you have it. There are the industries. Now, there's one main industry left. It is the car manufacturing. So, let's push pause and scope this out. So, here we go. We've got some cars. They're old school. I will say that. And these are tires. How much are waiting here? 26. Okay. But yeah, so you need steel, you need tires, glass, machines, and textiles. So we'll start off with the tire. Now, in order to make the tires, you need a rubber. Rubber can only be produced at a import building. So here's your import building. There's your import stuff. There's a great many things waiting here. Oof, 123 textiles, 140. But it should only be taken. I don't mind because we're getting near the end and I think I've got plenty of rubber. Please tell me you've got plenty of rubber. Ah, you've got 80. 80 is fine. So there we go. Train taking rubber. There are many carriages and wagons that will take the rubber. I just chose these ones because they're nice and fast. And we've got a tire factory way out here. I mean way out here. So here we go. There it is. Now this has got tires waiting, but I would imagine that it's also going to pick up textiles. So 55 tires there. There's none in store, but there's about to be 80. So I suppose that the fact that it's taking textiles is disrupting this slightly. But yeah, the tyres get loaded on. I thought it might have been cool if the actual tyre good that you get for the cars was there. And then this is heading across. Oh, I can't click on it. This is heading across to the other side, way across the other side of the map. And off it goes. And then tyres are being transported here. Now our glass and steel are being transported up from the recycling centre. That's what that army of trucks is right there. The train is actually here. Nothing is being loaded on it. Now these are modded wagons, but they're very, very cool. Ah, this doesn't open. That's a shame. Maybe it does open. Maybe I just have to wait. Right, I'm going to set you to wait for like 10 minutes. So, Temecula Station 3. Oh, this is the wrong train. What? How is this the wrong train? Line 115, manage line. Ah, there we go. So, yeah, wait. Yeah, wait indefinitely till I tell you to go. It might actually go. It might go and come back. It doesn't matter if it does. So we've got 536. We are slightly lacking in steel. I could pull for some steel from over here, but it looks like we're not making that much to begin with. I'm sure a couple of steel trucks will be up momentarily. But yeah, so the steel and glass are coming from the recycling centre. As you can see, we're making machines here with the steel industry and the oil. And these are being transported in. Machines is I was struggling with machines before, and now it's like flying up. So that's interesting. Yep, textiles. I just made a little synthetic fiber production line here, so textiles are coming in. Obviously, this train is taking textiles as well, which I kind of don't want it to take. But we're good for tyres. It's steel that we are sort of struggling with. Where's all the steel trucks? Oh, they're a fair distance away. Who are you and what do you do? You're a steel truck. The problem is all these are one, but the steel takes two. So I think maybe supplement it with a different line. Whoops, daisy. Yeah, you only got 23 or 30, and you had a hell of a long journey to go. Okay. Right. What's being used here? Yeah, there's a spare line here. So, do that. Go there. Kind of need... Yeah, you kind of need another drop-off area. Let's plant one in there. There we go. Go back to here, go back to line 116, manage line, add a station, go there, and get me some steel please. 1, 2, 3, 4, off you go, line 116. So yeah, that does work. We kind of just need more steel to get more cars. Now these are empty. I'll show you these in a second. So this is a mod from modworkstat.com. If we go to Escargot, there's 16 variants. There's this flat car from 1938, 1953, 1953. They come as empty, but you can have them as full as well. Now they all say empty, but I'm sure once they fill up, the cars go into them. So yeah, 1953, 1963, slightly bigger. There's this one from 1964, 1964 as well, 1964 also. These ones are quite cool from 1968. These ones are quite fast as well, 99 miles per hour. And as you can see, they take cars. Now if you're not playing with the Yeo's Senseless Industry mod, they will only take passengers and machines. So just bear that in mind. But if you've got the mod installed, the Yeo's Senseless Industries, it will accept cars. And that's one thing I will say. I've used a lot of vehicles, modded vehicles, in testing on this, and most things take what they should, which is good. So we've got some more here. There's this bigger one from 2007. This one here from 1964, and we've got these two covered transporters as well from 2013. So they are pretty cool. Now I'd kind of like... Now how full are you? 47 of 76. I'm pretty sure you should have started filling up these, right? Maybe not. How much does one of them carry? Missions 58. 12. Yeah, so it's on 30 something. So maybe the empties. Maybe having the empty ones is not a great idea. DB Schenker, that's cool. And Altman. Are you getting more? 51. Yeah, the train is almost full. So why are the cars not appearing? I don't know. Is there a way to change it in here? If it is, I will double track this. Car transporter, yes. So these all say empty, but I want to sort of toggle them. I mean, there's other stuff that will take cars as well, so will this. I don't know what it looks like. I'm intrigued to see what it looks like, actually. Yeah, they take cars, they take cars. Weirdly, this takes cars. So I'll maybe change up that train. What we'll do is we'll add multiple trains. So hold on, I will build up another line, a passing line, and then we shall return. Okay, we are back. So, managed to get it figured out. So, standard state cars, in-game state cars, will take the cars and they'll pop up and they'll show up like this. Now obviously, these are old and these are new. There's not much you can sort of do about that. I don't know if they're supposed to be old school, sort of 1920s sort of cars, or if they're maybe supposed to change through the times. But I would imagine it's just this. This is the asset that they've used for it. So that's kind of a shame. However, the train that takes... Yeah, so these things here. So these are filling up with cars, but this one is taking machines. And I do believe that if it only takes machines, then it's that it will animate the cars on the actual train. Because the other animation for the other vehicle is that, like, sort of older. It's not this. So yeah, this is kind of cool as well. Now you can actually toggle. There is a menu for the train mod. We'll set this one to go. You can go, my friend. So yeah, for these vehicles, for these cargo wagons, for the cars, you can actually... we'll just go and buy another one. Why the hell not? Buy vehicles. So before you install this mod, you can actually get it so that these come as full instead of empty. Maybe that might be a sort of better idea. I'm not too sure, but I've got them. I set them as empty. I didn't realize that that was the consequences of setting them as empty. But you could have them be like permanently full as well. So yeah, it does work though. Obviously there's the cars there heading out on that train. Obviously it doesn't load the other transporter train because these cargo assets of the older style cars are not the same as the ones that are in the sort of this train here. So that's kind of weird. That kind of got me down a bit, but yeah, it's still pretty cool. I like this. This is very smart, and I like the fact that we can actually make cars. It's a shame the cargo goods asset doesn't change over time from like a 1920s car, maybe to a 1960s, to the sort of 1990s, 2000s, etc. But yeah, it's pretty cool for what it is. You can actually make cars now, and it will actually accept cars. It does say, right, it says in here, Right, if we go to the car manufacturing. Right, so car manufacturing. The production of cars will need tire, steel, glass, and textiles and machines. The engine. Cars can be exported or sold at towns' car dealers. I don't see a town car dealer anywhere unless, like, cities now will accept cars. Do they accept cars? No. Unless there's a specific building that you click on and it will accept cars, but I do not believe that is the case. I don't see any car icons there. I thought it might have been a specific building. Sometimes you get buildings in here. I'll have to look around. There's maybe a separate mod, a car dealership mod. Don't know. I've not seen one. I have seen assets for building up your own car dealerships, but never seen any car dealership mod. So there you have it. It works. It's fantastic. All the sort of new industries are really good as well. Just bear in mind that some of them are a bit tricky. There's a lot of stuff you need in order to create certain things. So yeah, but apart from that, everything works fine. The new cargo styles and stuff are very cool. The assets for the cargoes to be picked up and stuff. This is a different. This is obviously a separate mod, but this is very cool as well. If only it worked with this, but who knows? Maybe something will change over time. But yeah, it's really cool. So as always, if you did watch this and you would like to leave a like, comment, or dislike, please feel free to do so. And if there is more you would like to see in the future, then hit that subscribe button. But I've been Danny Min. This has been Transport Fever 2, and I will catch you later.